All right. So now we're going to do the side to side. So I'm going to take this single first joint and I'm going to add my tail side to side layer, and I'm going to key all the rotates and translates. So just going using the layer below to make sure I'm keying on exactly the keyframes that I need so I don't break my cycle, end up with an offset cycle. So I'm going to take my wire rotate here, just going to -4 4 and 4. I'm going to open up my graph editor here. Oh, look, that one didn't work for some reason. Oh yeah, because I need to put -4, didn't I? Boom. There we go. And we cycle it. And we take a look. That feels pretty good. Let's have a look from top down. I think we can push it more with the Y rotate. Let's make this 6, these two -6. You can see how I'm just not entering any of these numbers arbitrarily. I'm really thinking about how they feel. It feels pretty good for a casual walk. It's like considering the feel of the motion that you're creating. There's no context for this, right? We're not actually doing this as a shot in the film or anything. But we're still making an effort to think about character and gravity while we're doing this work, because that's where the best work comes from. If we were actually animating this for a film, we'd be thinking about this in the context of cut and how the tail is going to work across the shot or in the sequence, and we would be thinking about whose tail it is and what that character is thinking and feeling in this moment. What is the story we're trying to tell with the tail? And we're touching on that a little bit by adding this pose and thinking about weight and the size of the character and what the character might be and who the tail might belong to. But there's a fair bit more to that process once you get into actually shot production in a film or a short film or whatever you're doing. All right, so we've got our side to side now. Now, generally speaking, you don't see a lot of twist in tails, so I'm not going to worry about a twist on this for now, saying that it's not 100% necessary. It can actually overcomplicate things for you in the animation process. So now I'm going to animate the remainder of my tail, and I'm going to create a tail up-down layer for the rest of the tail. So I'm going to read, just for the sake of keeping this clean and easy, I'm going to rename this by adding a 1 to my tail up-down layer. And when I create my new layer, it's going to auto-name it 2 if I copy and paste that name for me. So I need to key all of my rotates with Shift E. I'm going to go back to my tail up and down layer. I am going to save myself a ton of time here by grabbing my rotate X, copying it from here, and then just in my tail up down layer, pasting it straight on to each one of these So identical curves from the X rotate of my base tail segment. Okay, let's have a look at the graph editor. Okay, there they are. So cycling these ones. All right, so this is what we've got now, which is fine. Doesn't feel very organic though. We're going to do a really fun, simple trick. I'm going to grab all of these guys, so not my base one, just the ones in that layer. And just going to make sure I've got my rotate X visible. I'm going to grab all of those curves. You can see I've got them all selected for all of the tail joints. And in my time editor window up here, I'm going to go plus equals 2. And then I'm going to just select the next 3 down the line. So let's just do it in the view so you can see. So we've just edited all these 4. Now we're going to do these 3 here. And I'm going to say plus equals 2. So what we're doing is we're using an offset cycle on the tail. Plus equals 2. Do the last one. Plus equals 2. Now let's have a look at these guys in the graph editor. In fact, we're going to grab all of them. You can see exactly what's going on. And here we go. We can see I've taken my X rotate and I've offset it by 2 frames on every single joint in the tail. And that is cycling as an offset with the rest of those curves. All right, let's have a look at what that looks like in the viewport. Oh, that's pretty cool. That feels way more organic. Very cool. All right. You could play around with this a lot more, experiment with like scaling the values, not the time, but the values on these rotates. If you wanted to see more of it in the tip, for example, it would make the tip feel like it was flopping around a little bit more. You could do that. Or you could like have, so you have the most rotation here to the least rotation by here. It would feel more solid. So there's lots of different ways you can play around with this to change the way the weight of the tail feels from this point, while still keeping an even offset cycle and that really organic feel. All right.